That's a good place to really dive in.
Yeah.
Chiefs offense, Bucs defense. Let's go ahead and roll this. It was an unbelievable performance right away. That first quarter was tremendous. Patrick Mahomes, season highs in completions with 37 attempts and yards at 462. And Tyreek Hill was just unbelievable with what he did in that game. He was over 200 in the first quarter. I think. So to me, that's where you begin. And I can't get past it for trying to predict a Tampa Bay win. What do they do with Tyreek Hill in that first quarter that they didn't do, that they failed to do in that first game?
Yeah, well, not a lot changed. I mean, throughout the game, it did not. Now, I think the big thing that I would talk to you about, or at least in that first quarter where he just got off, is he got in some opportunities that were, whether it was zone or man, and ended up playing like man-to-man, and nobody's helping him out, helping the corner out. So that would be the first thing you just go, well, you can't continue to play that way, Tampa Bay. Now, I understand you can't always double them and always have two safeties there.
But one of those, just to paint an even clearer picture, one of those deep touchdowns he had was the classic 3 deep with the free safety in the middle and the corner with 11 yards of cushion. He runs by the corner, and the free safety is nowhere to be seen.
No doubt.
So, I mean, it's a good idea. They just didn't execute that.
No, they did not execute that on that kind of play there. Like Carlton Davis, he got beat on the little out and up, right, for the touchdown by Tyreek Hill, right? That was the long 75-yarder. I think that made it at that time maybe 10-0 in the football game. But, I mean, one, a little combination, like you said, it's a zone coverage. And I think on that play, they're asking Carlton Davis to play him man while everybody else is playing zone, which is fine. But Carlton Davis, and I saw some quotes from him yesterday or the day before where he basically said, wait, that was a good learning experience, and I'm definitely going to have to kind of adjust with what I do. Yes, when Tyreek makes the break for the 10-yard out, just let him catch the 10-yard out, or know for sure that he's committed to the 10-yard out, and don't bite on a double move or something like that to where you stutter and now you can't catch up. So, yes, there was that where Carlton Davis has to adjust his game plan, but then overall, too, like Tampa has to adjust their game plan a little bit as well. You know, the other 2 touchdown passes he had in the football game, you know, he had 3 receiving TDs. There's that one. The other 2, I can tell you know what they came against? Oh, the 5-man rush. Oh, the old blitz, the blitz that didn't get anywhere near the quarterback, but I just had a blitz because I like the word blitz. I don't know why. That's, to me, going to be like if we just have to hit the first key of the game. And I know this is obvious, right? But Tampa, you can't blitz. You can't do it. If you do, it has to be really calculated and in a moment or a personnel set or a formation where you go, I feel comfortable. But I don't think there's going to be a ton of those opportunities. Listen, I don't know, Pete, we got the numbers for the blitz, right? And the first time, they didn't blitz a lot the first time.
So we have Tampa Bay blitz 18.5%. All the other weeks, they blitz 43%.
Way down for them. They're one of the biggest blitzing teams in football.
Most in the NFC.
Okay, so that shows you. And I think it's like only second to Baltimore, maybe in all of football, right? So, all right, they knew they couldn't blitz him in this game, too. Obviously, that's why they blitzed less in this game than normal. But I don't think you can even, like, they blitzed, what was it, 10 times total?
Mahomes was 6 out of 9, so 9 times. 6 out of 9, 106, 2 touchdowns.
Right.
They did it only once in the second half.
To me, they got gashed in blitzes in the RPO game. Oh, we're going to blitz people off the edge. Okay, he takes it. Now there's a hole. You blitz there. There's Tyreek Hill. Boom. You know, the 2 touchdowns I'm going to talk about. You know, the first one, all right, we just talked about the first 75-yarder. Now we have the second one where he's the inside of 3 receivers to the left side. He basically just runs like a deep cross or a deep post to the opposite pylon. Bucks bring 5. We bring 2. They got a 3-man front. They bring 2 linebackers. They ask one of the safeties to come down and cover the backfield, cover one of the running backs out of the backfield man-to-man. Now, there's nobody there to on the cross-field help for Tyreek Hill. It's just things like that where I just go, what's the point? It's just not worth it against this team.
So better off bringing 4?
Bringing 4.
Or bringing 6?
Well, I would rather one or the other, but I would tell you no, 4.
Bring 4.
This is the game. This is why you got Sue. This is why you got JPP and Shaq Barrett. This is it. They got to win this week against this O-line who's banged up and all of that. the extra blitzer, I don't think it's going to do anything other than just make passing lanes bigger.
Right.
It's not going to he'll just fade away another extra step or two. Right? Or you blitz and they run some sprint out play. And now, they blitzed and now it's blocked up and he's sprinting out and you got Tyreek Hill on the edge with nobody there, or they double move off of it. To me, it's just too risky.
So
I'm talking handful of times the whole game.
Pick and choose your spots to bring 6 or maybe 7, but live with bringing 4.
Live
correct?
with 4 because that plays the perfect example. You blitz 2 linebackers, just let one go. So now you have the 3 down lineman, the linebacker. Now you let the other back cover the back out of the backfield. The linebackers got the back out of the backfield. And now Antoine Winfield can play the back end and go, okay, who's coming? Oh, here comes Tyreek Hill. All right, let me help my corner out here.
Because he wasn't much help from his free safety
He wasn't
spot.
help at all because he was being the free safety was cheating over to the 3 receivers. Winfield was playing to the right, and at the snap, he came down because he had to aggressively try to cover the back out of the backfield in case he went. And that's, to me, where I go, the teams that gave Kansas City problems, the Raiders, the Patriots, they didn't do stuff like that. They did not. They erred on, we are going to stop the pass.
Yeah.
We've seen there's enough evidence, he's going to gash you in the blitz. Don't do it. So there's the first just big thought.
I'm glad you established rushing 4 is the best way to go. With that thought, we get to Stephen Limitone, his question from Twitter. Do you think the 49ers last year or the Bucs this year have a better D-line? Even with the injuries this year, are the Chiefs in that much trouble?
Right. I don't think they're in that much trouble. No, because, and we'll hit on that here too. One, because of how Andy Reid game plans and Mahomes' ability to move and avoid, pressure, like we've talked about so many times, seamlessly, where you're just you almost don't even realize it's pressure until you watch the game back and you go, oh, crap, I forgot he made 3 people miss before he threw that 40-yard throw down the middle of the field. It's just so effortlessly. I think the 49ers defensive line and defense in general is better than this Bucs defense altogether.
Yeah.
Across the board for the most part. Okay, and then the other thing I would say to that, too, is, yes, I think the 49ers defensive line was a better pass-rushing defensive line. The only advantage I would say the Bucs D-line has is in run defense, and this ain't the game that it matters, run defense. I'm sorry.
Right.
And it shouldn't matter. And Kansas City should not even waste their time or breath trying to run the ball a whole lot.
So, at Mehmet305, his question, do you think it's essential for Kansas City to get their running game going early to protect the O-line? I guess you're answering that right
My
now.
answer is no. It's a great thought. Who asked that? What was his name there?
Mehmet_305.
Mehmet_305.
He's basically a friend of the program at this point.
Mehmet and my man down in 305 down there in Miami. No, it's a good thought, and he's right. Things have to be done to protect the offensive line, but come on, Kansas City. We didn't get to the Super Bowl because of the run game. We're not going back-to-back because of the run game. We can't fucking waste our time with that in this game. No. You're letting them off the hook if you're going to play the run game into the strength of their football team. I mean, it's probably the number one thing on their team is we can stop the run.
Yeah.
We're the best run-stopping defense in football. So don't waste your time. My thing would be, to answer Mehmet's question, 305 there, would be, no, let's help the pass rush other ways. And I've talked about this on the podcast. That's where Andy Reid, the sprint outs are going to become key. Little play actions, even the shotgun, because that's just going to make the offensive line the defensive line just slow down a little bit. Oh, wait, did he hand it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Oh, no, he didn't. Okay, let me get and get him. That, and then the shifts and motions, the speed sweeps, all that stuff. He's going to have to use that to slow down the pass rush. But don't use the run game. That's playing into the Bucs' hands. The Bucs want you to run. They know they got the advantage against that offensive line in that category.
Right.
So I would say more of, I want to see Kansas City compared to the first matchup, where this is where I would say they're better because they were just played the Raiders the second time the week before, where I think they had just getting into, we got the short passing game now, and we got the zone plays, and now the deep plays to go along with it, which we always had. I think they were just finding their way with this at that moment. And in this game, they kind of tried to play the 2 tight end, 3 tight end. We might run it and balance. And I think it took the pressure off the Bucs defense. I think they were probably like, sure, great, that's fine. That's great. Now, we don't have to worry about matching up across the board.
Yeah.
I would rather see combat the pass rush, spread the field, quick passes, and move the ball like that to where the pass rush never gets to get off on the guy holding the ball for a long, long time. Sorry for the long answer there.
No, that's good. We talked about the defensive line. Let's back it up now to the DBs, which I think are going to be a huge part of this game. I think they're playing a lot better.
They are.
All those young second to fourth round picks they have in the secondary than they were 2 months ago. Official Kian, his question is, do you think Tampa has the secondary coverage to cope with Mahomes?
I don't. I mean, listen, and this is not disrespect, and you're right. I think they've gotten better. But, listen, Tampa's defense is the key to the game. We know that. I mean, it really is. And there's so many things to break down. Yeah, we hit the pass rush and how important that is. In the secondary, they're better at man-to-man than they are zone. The problem is...
Are they playing man-to-man this game?
Well, that's the problem. It's just like, how much do you want to play against this crew? Yeah. And that's where I would tell them, fuck the five-man box. Right. Fuck the extra guy in the box. Err on the pass. Listen, we don't know if Kansas City, can run. But the one thing I know they can do is pass if you're going to give them those looks, okay? So dare them. Two deep safety, man underneath. If they want to run it, go ahead, run. Oh, can you think you can make plays with our two safeties and now the corners can play aggressive underneath?
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't like their chances man-to-man, single safety on an island like the touchdowns we talked about with Tyreek Hill. Right. I don't like that. No. They need to find ways to help them out. And I think here's the other aspect of it too. And this is why, again, I just go, we can't rush 5. You can't rush 6. We got to let that front 4. You paid a lot of money to them. Got a lot of draft picks there. They got to win. This is their day. This is their day to take over and be that group of the team. But the other thing, too, which concerns me a little for the Tampa defensive side, is I don't think they're a good zone defense. That's my biggest problem.
They weren't, and that's one of my questions I want to make sure we get to.
Right.
They weren't with that 3 deep with a safety in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
At least in that game a couple months ago.
Right.
What if they play the 2 deep with 2 safeties and then rolled corners?
Yes. I mean, that's certainly. And if they play man underneath, I think that's, going to be their best opportunities. Or, hey, this one safety's down here kind of looking for, helping out our other guys who were playing man. And now we have another safety over the top of the single receiver on Tyreek Hill, and now we're truly doubling him. They got to find ways to do all of that type of stuff. So, 1, to see if you can confuse, Mahomes. 2, maybe it gets him to pat the ball in extra time, and now your pass rush gets to get there and sack him. To me, that will be a key to the game, but they're going to have to find the right formula of how to mix it up and how to play it. My issue with Tampa and their zone defense is to what you're saying, even last week in the NFC Championship game, I mean, Rodgers picked their zones apart a lot of the times. I mean, he didn't have issues, finding little holes and things like that.
But I do think that they gave him not a bad game, but if you picked out the so how many games did they play this year? 18 games.
Yeah.
If you picked out their 18 games, it would be in the bottom middle or maybe bottom half of the games he played.
Right.
By his standards.
Yeah, sure, okay.
So they did hold him to less than his best.
Yes, I agree. Not trying to, still a really good performance, you're right. And stopped them in, the red zone twice and made him kick field goals. Those are all positives. My thing, though, is this group is a lot more talented. And that's where it's a little different. It's a different talent group. Now, hey, I like Lazard and Valdez-Scantling. But some of those catches they made in that game, Hill and McCole Hardman catch some of those 8-yard hook routes. Watch out. It could be a 40-yard gain up the sideline all of a sudden. Yeah. That's where it's just a little bit of a different animal. And here's my issue with the Bucs and their zone coverages, which is, as I've watched even a few other games to look at to see if this makes sense, they don't disrupt receivers off the line of scrimmage. And that's, to me, their biggest issue. So they play zone coverages. If Tyreek Hill's in the slot, he just gets off the ball clean. The safety who might be dropping into zone, by the time he's like, I looked at the quarterback and I looked back, he's like, whoa, Tyreek Hill's on me. My understanding of zone coverages through the Bucs and Tampa 2 and Seattle scheme and all of that, if you're going to be a good zone team, you can't let just people fly off the ball and then expose areas that your team can't get to these zones. You got to be a little disruption and move guys out of the way, mess up the rhythm of the quarterback, and not enough of that goes on by them.
So what do you do with Tyreek Hill? I know Kelsey is his own version of a nightmare, but We showed the numbers of Tyreek Hill, over 200 yards in the first quarter last time they played. And to get further into that, he was on the left sideline running like a 20-yard conversion. He was on the right sideline running right down for a deep ball. He was the inside player in a slot, like you talked about, running short, running deep. So, I mean, not only does he have the speed, acceleration, the production, you don't know where he's going to line up on any given play.
No.
You know you need to be worried about that, though. So what do you do with the way they use him pre-snap?
Yeah, I think, you're always going to have to be aware of him. They can make it hard on to double him at times. Like I want to get into that aspect too about why I think Kansas City shouldn't be, in run formations or two or three tight end sets too, because what Kansas City will do sometimes too, they'll like the last touchdown pass he hit to Tyreek Hill, they'll put Kelsey and Hill on the same side. It's empty formation. It's 5 eligible wide receivers. He's in the shotgun. It's 2 receivers to the left and the running back, and on the right it's Kelsey and Hill. It's hard to double. What are you going to put 4 guys over there against 2?
Right. And
then what are you going to have on the other side? There's going to be issues. So they do things that are very scary that way. And there's going to be a few formations where I don't care who you are, what you do, you're going to be in a vulnerable position a little bit. But what they can do in those situations, like we talked about already, combination coverages, trying to help with safety over the top, an occasional double if you know it's the right formation. You go, okay, I think we can pull it off. And then, yes, you're going to have to play some one-on-one every now and then. But when you do that, Paul, there's got to be a presence of, I'm not sure it's totally one-on-one. The safety's in single safety, but he's kind of like over there by Tyreek Hill. Is he doubling them?
Did they do some of that later in the game? Because he was only 6 catches for 66 yards after that first quarter.
Right. No, you know what they did as the game went on, and this is where, really I found it to be more of a Kansas City issue. Kansas City got to this point in the 27-10 football game, and 1, took their foot off the gas pedal just a little bit, but 2, the Bucs got real vanilla because they were like, wait, we're getting gashed. Yeah. Let's just get vanilla and play cover 3 and do things like that. And Kansas City played right into their hands and went, let's start throwing it deep again. And they started calling deep pass plays and let the four get off again. To me, that's where they messed up the football games in a lot of ways. The game should be easy for Kansas City. Zone coverage, pick it apart, throw it quick short. Man, take your shots. That, to me, is how it should boil down. And then on top of that, instead of some of those 2 and 3 tight end sets I talked about in that first time around, to me in this game, I would spread the field all game long. I would make them match up with McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, Kelsey, and not let them off the hook with pressure at any point. With Mahomes can throw it any way. We got our best players out here on the football field. We're not going to get into a ground and pound, phone booth fight with Sue and Vitavia. We're not made for that. To me, that's where it could be special. And like I said, when you get into some of those 4-receiver empty sets, I don't think Bucs are very good at zone defense. Like I said, those holes are going to be big in zone coverages that way. And then, as much as I like the Bucs and their young talent and things like that, I don't think they can match up across the board against this group.
Right. I mean, you say that about most teams in the league.
Right, exactly.
So, in summary with there, if I'm hearing this the right way, you want to see Tampa Bay rush 4, play different types of confusing, change-it-up zones.
Right.
And Kansas City.
Zones or mans.
Okay.
Yep.
Change it up, but maybe lean more on the zone than man?
Maybe, yes. I'm not opposed to it. It's going to be about down and distance, but my big thing would be more of just, you got to mix it up a little bit. Because you can't, if you just go zone, they're going to get into their zone packages and he's going to pick you apart just like he did to Cleveland or Buffalo at points in that football game. So you got to have to play man-to-man, but when you do man-to-man, no blitzing. You got to find a way to help a guy who might be in a vulnerable position with the extra guy there, and that would be my big thing. And try to play the game that way more than anything. But if they blitz and then they play play one thing too much, you're going to get gashed by them. If you go, we're going to blitz a lot and play man, they're going to gash you. If you're just going to rush 4 and play zone the whole time, they'll gash you in that too now. So you got to, like you're saying, rush 4, combination coverages, mix it up, And down and distance-wise, you're going to have to go, okay, it's 3rd and 4. Maybe we have to play man now, but I'm not going to let Tyreek Hill go for a 70-yard touchdown. We're going to help out a little bit there somehow.
And you'd like to see Kansas City's response, at least early, be more the short passing game than taking the shots.
I would think early on that would be, let's get your offensive line, get a feel for these freaks who are going to be foaming at the mouth because they've been told all week that if you can't get to Mahomes, we can't win the game. That would be my thing. Spread the field out, have your best players on the field. Mahomes has been a general at the line of scrimmage all year. He will get you in the right plays. To me, I think you force Tampa's hand that way more too. And honestly, I think for the Chiefs, then it could do also where you get into like, okay, now that the safeties are so far back, now we can run the ball. They're going to make it so obvious that way. Now we'll run the ball. But yes, I think that should be the approach for the most part for the Chiefs.
All right, that's Chiefs offense, Bucs defense.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.